Hey folks, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Nita.
And we are the official Harvest Host AleBlazers, which means we've been traveling around visiting and reviewing breweries and distilleries across North America.
We started in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We drove across the Midwest, went through Bourbon Country, his favorite place.
Absolutely.
Then we went to Maine. Right now, we're on Northern Ontario, hence the toque. And we've seen some pretty cool stuff and met some really amazing people. So far, we visited over 30 Harvest Host locations. And in this video, we're going to show you some of our favorite experiences of the trip. We'll also clue you in on some of the best food and beautiful boondocking spots.
You ready?
Let's go.
So we're going to start with some of the amazing tours and tastings that we had on this trip. And we'll begin with Lively Beer Works in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And Nick Williams gave us a tour of their brewing facility, but the highlight really was tasting
this fresh, light lager.
What Nick said was, this is beer-flavored beer. Nick was particularly proud of their light lager, and I have to say, I was super impressed, and it was quite delicious.
Very drinkable.
Next, we went to the Wanderin at Wonderfolk Spirits in Guthrie, Oklahoma, where Donnie and Jeff gave us a great tour of their distillery, their rickhouse. We got to see, smell, and taste the spirits in the rickhouse, and then we headed back to the bar for some delicious cocktails. But we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes.
Another one of our favorites was Hat Distilling in New Florence, Missouri. That's where I was born.
And Wood Hat is run by Gary Heingarten, I believe his name is, and what a special character. We're going to talk about him a little bit more in a moment.
We fell in love with him.
But he gave us a great tour of his micro distilling operation, where he's the only distiller there. And his rickhouse was actually in a bunch of storage containers out back.
Yep.
He's a highly experienced agronomist who grows heritage corns, blue corns, red corns, yellow corns.
We've selected different corns that have really unique tastes.
And then we took the State Line Whiskey Trail in Kentucky and Tennessee. And all of those distilleries were amazing.
Yeah, starting with Casey Jones Distilling in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where Ross gave us the tour. And then we moved on to MB Rowland in Pembroke, Kentucky, where Olivia gave us an amazing tour and tasting. They had so many products there, it was just fabulous. Okay folks, this is literally like being a kid in a candy store.
And how about Old Glory in Clarksville, Tennessee, where Chance, it was his first day, he gave us an incredible tour.
Yeah, it taught us all about Tennessee whiskey, and we got to taste their fabulous wares also. And we're gonna come back to those in a minute. But next we're gonna talk about some of our favorite breweries of the trip, beginning with
Sierra Blanca in Moriarty, New Mexico.
Oh yeah, and some of my favorites there were their peanut butter porter, and one of my all-time favorites of the entire trip, the barrel-aged whiskey stout. The beers here are excellent, really good brewery.
And another one is Angry Scotsman Brewing, also in Oklahoma City.
And Angry Scotsman makes some incredible Belgians and British styles like Scotch Ale, Old Ale, and ESB. But my absolute favorite there was the barley wine. This is the schnitzel. Very few people make barley wine. Angry Scotsman does a great job.
And another favorite was Big Muddy Brewing in Murfreesboro, Illinois.
Yeah, they have a really creative beer list there. But my favorite was the excellent Hibernation Winter Ale. Oh yeah, it's barrel aged all right. That's absolutely wonderful. This is the winner so far, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck does a great job there. And for the most amazing can selection, the award has to go to Sawdust City Brewing in Gravenhurst, Ontario. They have things like horchata white milk stout, passion fruit guava kettle sour, sumac mint summer sour, and two of my favorites were the maple butter tart ale. Wow, look at that collar, look at that head. That's a beautiful thing. And the chocolate raspberry cookie stout.
That's pretty creative. And another one of our favorites was Northwoods Brewing in Northwood, New Hampshire.
All of their beers were fabulous. This, my friends, is the barrel-aged Belgian Tripel at 9.9%. And look at that beautiful copper color. Oh, that looks so delicious. If you like Belgian beers, This place is incredible. This, my friends, might be my favorite. It's certainly in the top 5 of my favorite beers in America right now. This is just absolutely incredible. This is called Chocolate Coffee Thunder, and watch this. Oh, yes. Yes, that, my friends, is one of the best beers in America. This place has incredible beer. As far as spirits go, some of my personal favorites were the Marine Strength Gin from Axe Handle in Pennington Gap, Virginia. And it's called Marine Strength because Navy Strength Gin, I believe, is 114 proof, something like that. Marine Strength Gin is 115. It was great stuff.
A little stronger.
And speaking of gin, another one of my favorite spirits of the entire trip was the barrel-aged gin from Old Glory in Clarksville, Tennessee. Wow, I bought a bottle of this and I wish I had bought a case of it because I don't know when I'll ever see it again. It was my favorite gin probably that I have ever had. Also really enjoyed their Tennessee whiskey, folks. Okay, I might be a convert to Tennessee whiskey. It was the best Tennessee whiskey of the entire trip too. Of course, it was the only Tennessee whiskey that we had.
And we have to include Wanderfolk Spirits in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
And they have a whole line of bourbons there that they call Same Old Moses, but nothing beats the Ruby Port barrel finished bourbon. Again, one of my favorites of the entire trip. I keep saying that one. They're all my favorites, they're all good. But the pièce de résistance, Gary Heingarten's Wood Hat Spirits in Missouri. Everything that Gary does is great there, especially the bourbons and whiskeys, all of which are made with corn that Gary grows himself. He makes things like Old Blue single barrel corn whiskey made with blue corn, Twin Timbers, which is aged in pecan and oak barrels, and the amazing Rubenesque, which is one of the best bourbons in all of America.
And now let's talk about cocktails.
Yep, one of my favorite subjects.
One of his favorites. So we went to Brown Barn Farms in Orange County Distillery, and they had this amazing bartending team of Izzy in Nigeria.
Yeah, they did. And they made some incredible cocktails there. They have great spirits, creative cocktails, and they are located in a really beautiful setting. Orange County Distillery. It is totally worth the trip. And we got to keep going back to Guthrie, Oklahoma. Wow. The Wanderin, where Donnie mixed up some incredible cocktails like this old fashioned, made with Same Old Moses double barrel port bourbon. You gotta come to the Wanderin. Really fantastic place. Highly recommended.
Oh, and what about the drink you had at Axe Handle?
Oh yeah, that's right. Gabriel made me something really special. A raspberry bourbon made with fresh muddled raspberries, lemon juice, simple syrup, and 93 proof Axe Handle straight bourbon whiskey. It really was something special. And finally, I guess I was just on a gin kick here because that barrel-aged gin from Old Glory made it pretty damn good aged gin fashioned with artisanal ice.
Yep.
Artisanal ice, it's a thing. Who knew?
Yeah. And again, it's not all about drinking. Let's talk about some of the great food that we had.
Yeah, beginning with Artisanal Brewing in Sarasota Springs, New York. The barbecued pork panini. Oh man, it's fabulous. Highly recommended. And back to Sawdust City Brewing in Ontario. Duck wings.
They were delicious.
Oh my God.
Chicken wings, step aside.
We got like 6 duck wings. We should have gotten 18.
We should have. We should have. And back to one of our favorites, we have Northwoods Brewing, and they make, in addition to beer, incredible French pastries.
Yeah, so Northwoods Brewing is a bakery and a brew house in one. I already told you that they make some of my favorite beers, but their donuts were off the hook. Now, I am passionate.
I wouldn't even call them donuts.
I am passionate about donuts, and I wouldn't call them donuts either because they're made with choux pastry. If you know what choux pastry is, very French. Northwoods, you have to come here, have the beer, have the pastries. Oh, it's fabulous.
And we also love the pizza at Funky Brewing in Lyman, Maine.
Wow. They had a brick oven right on site making it, and I just got a plain pepperoni pizza, and wow, delicious.
It was really good.
But you know, when you're done eating and drinking and enjoying entertainment, you got to go to sleep. And here's where the real value of Harvest Host comes in, because all of these places you can boondock right on the premises. And some of our favorite boondocking experiences, because they were just absolutely beautiful, begins with MB Rollin', once again in Kentucky. It used to be an Amish dairy farm, and it was just so pretty.
Picturesque.
And bucolic, I would say.
You can't even have enough superlatives for this place.
No, you can't. And for that matter, also Casey Jones, practically around the corner from MB Rollin', also part of the State Line Whiskey Tour.
And then Axe Handle. It's in the Appalachian Mountains, and it is just beautiful.
Yeah, so there you go. 3 really great boondocking experiences. But one of our favorite places of the trip also for beauty, that was neither a brewery or distillery, and that was...
Oh yeah, Arlington Farm. And that's in Cape Charles, Virginia.
So you're right on a real working farm. There are chickens, there are goats everywhere. We boondocked right outside the goat barn. And Charlie made a really good friend. Their dog, Buddy, loves all dogs. So does Charlie. But we also enjoyed all of the other places that we stayed. That's the beauty of Harvest Host. Great experiences. It's not just the beer. It's not just the alcohol. It's not just the food. It's all of it wrapped up into one, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. We'll see you down the road.
We'll see you on the road.